Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a couple automated tools and how to recover files using them. Last week we did a demo of recovering files using a hex editor. Is everybody okay in the hex editor? Do some of you get it to work and everything? It's pretty simple. Okay, HXD, pretty simple as well. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I put an image on here and I called it Lab 2 image. It's not the one you're working with this semester. This is like from back in 2003. So I also have a folder here called Foremost, and oh, that's an old image. Should have deleted that one. Oh well, that's fine. But I have one called Foremost, and I have one called Scalpel, so I'm going to do Foremost first. What I'm doing is I'm taking this image, which is a forensically sound image of a USB drive. I'm putting it in this folder. Now I'm going to tell you the first thing you're going to screw up on using Foremost. Foremost is actually written by the Air Force OSI. It's a no-frills program that works great. But you cannot click on it to run it. You click on it, that's what you get. You don't know how many times I get emails from students. It's due, I've been clicking on this thing for an entire week. It's all I get. Well, that's not how you run Foremost. Foremost must be run from the command line. You do CMD. Okay, now, I actually got an email from someone today, I don't remember who it was, saying they cannot get into the Foremost directory to run it. When you download it, wherever you put it is where you need to run it from. It doesn't have to be in a directory called Foremost. It can be in any directory you want. So wherever you put it, and I also helped a student yesterday on a project. You do realize if you're in my classes, you can come see me. You don't have to go through tutors. I'm just saying. If I'm right.
I bugged you with how many emails last week?
That's fine.
I still didn't get it right.
And by the way, speaking of emails, just so you know, I have this phobia of long emails. So much better to send me 5 short questions. If you send me a long email, I will answer the beginning of it. Then you will reply back, hey, you didn't tell me that. Then I'll answer the second part. Then you reply back. So that might have been part of it. I don't know. But I hate reading long emails. Okay? So send me a question or two. I don't mind answering it. Now, if I don't answer you in a timely fashion, send me another one. Because I do get, like today, I think I got about 400 emails. And it's like killing me. I'm not nearly caught up with even the ones from yesterday yet. And it's like, took yesterday afternoon off. See, I have so much annual leave just to use the leave I'm earning and I already have saved, so I don't lose any this year. I have to take off 1.5 days every single week. There's no way. I'm going to lose hundreds of hours again, and it sucks. But so.
Pro tip for the directory, if you go to the directory that it's in, and shift right click, you should be able to...
Am I not in the directory just fine?
No, you're not.
I'm in the directory just fine.
Pro tip, bro. Get pro tip.
No, I'm in the right directory. Hush.
You can actually just click on it, type CMD, enter, and it'll open the man window in the directory.
Will it?
I'm there. I'm there.
That's ridiculous.
So you're saying click where?
Just click right there in the
click here?
window.
Click there?
In the window where it says C.
Which part of the window? This part?
Inside.
Up.
So click here.
Inside the...
I'm clicked right there.
No, inside the...
This window.
Type CMD.
That's bogus. It sucks. No, mine was so much better. I was already there. I was there for 20 minutes. I was already there. You guys, so slow. See, my way, I was there already.
I want this guy.
Okay.
He's
Now,
you be quiet.
if you type Foremost and the file name, which in this case is Lab 2 image. Now, it's case sensitive because it was originally written for Unix. I'm pretty sure it is still on Windows, but just type in Foremost in the image name and hit enter. Okay, you get an error. I'm going to explain why you get this error. You're going to get this error too. Foremost, when it runs, it puts stuff in an output directory. See this output directory right here? Just delete it. Okay? Then when you run it, now you don't have to type it all again. You can just hit the up arrow and go. Okay? And it's done. That's all it takes. Okay? What it does is it recreates the output directory. Now if I go in here, you'll see it got all this, all this stuff. Okay? Now, like, it got GIFs. Remember this lab, Roy? It got JPEGs. It got everything. Can you guess what the theme was in 2003? But, so we know how to get it to work. So I'm going to leave that directory there. I'm going to run it again. And you'll see I get the same error again because the directory already exists. So far, so good. Okay. I don't know what this Ken directory is. We're going to delete that one too. What? There's a file in here called foremost.config. That's where you need to do everything. Okay. I'm going to edit this with TextPad. Reason is it's a Unix formatted file, and Notepad doesn't do line breaks correctly with it. Okay. So, all right. So inside here, now y'all remember Gary Kessler's page. Okay. So if I was to go down here to a GIF, remember GIF had 47, 49, 46, 38. That was a header for a GIF. Like we went down here to PD. Like here's Office D0, CF, 11, E0. Remember those? Those are the headers. So all this program is doing is using those headers, like Gary Kessler's did. Okay. PDF. Remember it was PDF and EO and PDF. Yes.
Which one was it for the EXE? I could not find it.
It was one. Oh, what was it? ID1.
I stumbled onto that.
ID3.
ID3?
And it was an amazing.
Okay, MP3 was the.
ID3.
Okay, MP3 was ID3. What was the EXE?
Isn't it MZ?
I thought it was MZ.
Maybe it was MZ.
Because it's a Microsoft
Then you just
program.
go till it stops and then go to the end of the sector. Yeah, it was ID3 and then MZ for the EXE. So anyone get those? Okay. It's just trial and error. But you'll notice this is, so basically PDF and EOF and so on and so forth. Okay, just like we saw. If you're specifying it in hex, you just /x in front of it. Yes.
So is this program guaranteed not to get tripped up on the multiple EOFs and PDF files?
No. This program will actually get a lot of junk, a lot of excess stuff you don't need. Yes.
Is there a way you can make the image bigger?
It's bigger. Oh, you mean for the project?
No,
So we can see this.
I can't unless the projector. Oh, like that? That's impossible.
That's impossible.
Dude, how do you do that? What's the pro tip for that?
Projector screen.
Okay, just leave it. It's fine. They can see it. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. Glad I could help. All right. So now inside here. Okay. Why did it get all those anyway? Hold on. I'm gonna run this again real quick. I want to see something. Okay. I already deleted it. Why? Okay, there's something screwy here. I am in the right config file, aren't I? Yeah. Hey! Shh! Shut up. Okay. I'm wondering why. Let's just do PDF. I want to try something here real quick. I'll explain what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. If everything is commented out, it pretty much returns everything. I know it's just stupid. But I just did PDF only. See how everything else is commented out in this file? See that? With the exception of this one PDF. So I uncommented PDF, and then I got output of just PDF. Okay? And if I go view these, will it show? No, it won't show. Yeah, there's no preview in here. Come on. Not all of these are going to be correct. Okay? Yeah. Okay, there's one. Yeah. Now, again, this image, that one actually ended up opening finally. Not all of them are going to be correct, because remember the part where the endings and the beginnings aren't quite correct. Some of these could be partial pages. So it's kind of this is a really old program. Obviously, it does not do great on PDFs. There's another one. Okay, we got another one. So that's two good ones.
Can I have a question?
Yes.
If you modify the header to have 0 spaces in front of it, would that not reduce the likelihood of getting?
What do you mean 0 spaces in front of it?
Well, because normally you'll have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 before the start of the file. So if you put that at the front part of the header to find it,
There shouldn't be 4 zeros in the beginning of the file, not at the beginning of the sector.
Not the beginning of a sector, the end of the last sector.
Oh.
End of the last sector.
Oh.
That way you only get those. That's what I did for your entire manual one.
Yeah.
Search for it plus.
But what happens if? But what happens? See, that would great as long as the drive's been wiped. But what happens if the file before it takes up the entire sector, or there's file slack left over in there? Then that wouldn't work. But yeah, what you're saying sounds like a good idea, actually.
That's how
I never even thought about doing it that way.
That's how I got your manual file. Everyone's like, "Oh, it'll take you forever." That's how I did it in like half.
I never even thought about doing it that way. That's a great idea. What he's saying is, you know how the files always start at the beginning of a sector? Well, each one just happened to have a bunch of blank space between the files. So he just put some blank space before the PDF. That's a good idea. I never would have thought of that.
So
But-
what you're saying is
But it would only work for my image because the drive was wiped and there was nothing in that space.
it will never work again. Thank you.
All right,
Yeah,
great.
right.
All right.
Sorry for everyone who hasn't taken it yet.
So inside here, you just go down to the types you want. That means next time we have to leave file slack in there. Yes.
What happens if you take the comment off of multiple files?
That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go find the TIFF. Where's TIFF?
Okay, so I figured out what I messaged you about. I had 2 folders of TIFFs. And one was 30 and one had 10 in it, but only 5 of them opened.
Oh, then those are the correct ones.
So then what we're doing is we're going through the files and finding which ones open, and then that's where we enter the quiz. Because I watched your...
No.
The one on end case, I think it was, you had told them just to put in whatever the numbers it gave them.
Right. That's what I want you to put in. I'll get back to that in a second. Close it out. Close it out. All right, mister. How do I get there easier than going through this way? All right. So let's delete this again. All right. So let's run it again. Now we should have TIFF and PDF. Oh, I did PNG as well. There's only 3. I don't remember what we had on this image. It was a couple years ago.
There should be lots.
Yeah, but there's like hundreds of JPEGs. For this project, what I want you to do is, for instance, these 3 right here, you're going to go into this audit file, and you're not going to open it in Notepad because it looks like, y'all see how crappy that looks? Now I'm going to open this up in TextPad. You'll see the
Actually,
difference.
choose word wrapping.
Yeah, still.
Okay.
Those are the numbers I want right there.
Yeah.
How many?
Yes.
So does it sound accurate that I have 2,000?
Sounds like too many TIFFs.
That's JPEG.
Oh, JPEGs,
That
yes.
sounds right.
Yeah.
The tips
Well, wait a minute.
Including
Are you
the
on
select.
the right image, the Lab 2? Okay, you
Took
might.
it right out of
The
my
reason is JPEGs also have thumbnails embedded in it, and if the PDFs or the PowerPoints have JPEGs in them, you're going to get those as well.
Yeah.
Let me
Plus all the false positives, plus all of the different file
right.
types. Plus
So that number right. It seems high, but it might be right. Now I'm going to go through here. Now I'm going to undo these 3. Now we're going to run it again.
I don't have time to fix it.
No one's thought of that before?
What? Permission denied. What, is it not deleted yet or something? What the heck? What'd we break? Oh. Windows not refreshing.
Yes, you will get ones because they start.
What the heck is going on here?
Then you just kind of, okay, so once you get here, you search for 4 lines of blank space.
What
What we
is
do is we can just put a bunch of correct consecutive
delete?
lines, take out the impact sector.
Thanks, Bill Gates.
Yay. What the hell?
You just didn't say anything because you
That Air Force OSS.
Yeah.
The program Scalpel was one of the some of the tips that I think, so.
What the hell? I don't understand this.
Oh, you have to, I had the problem too where I couldn't delete that or something, and it told me to, I emptied my recycle bin and it worked, but I see you don't have anything in recycle bin, so I don't know. Cause I fought with that yesterday.
Yeah, let's make sure. Yeah, mine's empty. It's empty. That is screwy. I've never had that happen.
You could just try renaming it.
It's gone.
Yeah, that. Whoa, it's gone now. Now it's gone. What the hell? That's crazy.
Take that.
Gremlins.
So it already existed, but it did it anyway? That's crazy. Okay. So here's my TIFFs. That I don't know why I did that. Here's my JPEGs, and there's, yeah, naturally there's not that many. But if I look at my audit log now, reload it, yes, and you'll see I have quite a few. Your image could be a little bit different. I just picked a random image today. So all you need to do is go into this file, and uncomment out the stuff. And for this assignment, what I want is whatever number this tool gives you. As long as you did correct. I mean, here's what I do not want you to do. I'm going to tell you right now. Do not go in here. Because I told everybody in the class exactly what was included. Didn't I? I told you what was on there. Do not do this. Do not uncomment RPM files. And then run it again. That's weird. See all these? These are all bogus files. They're all bogus.
All bogus files?
All bogus files. What do you even open an RPM with? What is an RPM?
It's a
Linux, it's some sort of package manager.
right.
I don't remember the actual.
Open it up with 7-zip. Boom. Sucks for you that I didn't put any RPMs on there.
Yeah, there is none. So I'm saying it's not even a real file. So it's a false positive. So on the assignment, when I said how many RM files, what's the answer? Zero, because there's none on there. Everybody okay with that? Can you understand that? Pretty simple. Gotta be. What is going on with this stupid thing? Okay, now I need this file again, and we're going to do scalpel. I'll show you that one.
So Ken, other than opening it, is there any way to tell whether it's a false positive or not?
So we have a VM machine with all this stuff installed. I've
Yeah.
wasted my time installing all this crap on my personal computer.
Yeah, everybody has a VM machine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I even sent you all an email, didn't I?
Yeah. Thanks.
Check your email. There you go.
God only knows.
Okay, so let's go into Scalpel. Scalpel is actually written by the same people. Now I'm going to show you this really cool trick I learned. If you go up in here and just type CMD, right up. Just saying. And if you type the same thing, not LS, and lab2image.001, warning, you have attempted to use a non-empty output. Was it empty? Oh, it was there already. Sorry, I didn't see it. Yes. Okay. Let me run it again. Which one am I on? We don't need that one anymore. This one gives you a little bit better output. It kind of shows you what it's doing. And it's nice when you got large files. I mean, large images to work off of. Alright, now if I go in here, I can very easily see I have a bunch of JPEGs. Easy enough to do. A little bit quicker than you can do it yourself. Now, I'm going to delete that directory. Now I'm going to go into the Scalpel config file. By the way, if you ran this stuff on a Linux-based system, it'd be config.ini. Now, in here, I only had JPEG. Now I also want to include GIF. And you're saying TIFF was giving you issues? Again, I have a different image than you, so I don't know what it'll give us. Let's see what we get in this one. Okay. Now, there's one. I'll show you. There's one bad thing here too. Now under TIFF, I got 3, which is about the same I got last time, and 2. So that's about the same. Now under the audit on here, this one does not total them up for you. You'll have to add them up. I don't know why they don't total them. I don't know.
You mean you just don't want a screenshot?
No. No, I don't want a screenshot. So let's go back to here. Well, you know what? I wonder, it's because I had the audit open, if that what was causing it. Because that's actually in the directory. Could be. Okay, let's go back into the config file. So it's... Oh, that's right, I closed it, didn't I? And that was scalpel.config. You want to try any other ones while we're in here? But it's pretty straightforward. Okay?
On Scalpel, I got 459 zips. It
Okay.
sounds so ridiculous.
Okay, first of all, there's no zips.
No
No.
zips? What did I do?
No, it's because Office documents are actually containers. I'll show you that here in just a
Are you
second.
having them just pick which ones they're doing, or are you making them?
They know what it is. I told them on the assignment exactly which ones are there.
Well, I
So what
understand
they
that.
need-
I'm talking about the actual codes and stuff, when you making them actually.
Oh, no, that's
change
already
those
built
and
in.
alter those and
Now,
stuff.
what you can do, you can actually go in here and add the codes to get out the MP3 and the EXE.
That's what I did with mine with the MP3.
Yeah,
because
you
I
can
couldn't
do-
find the EXE ones.
Yeah, you can do it. Now, zips. Let's do zips. Where's zip?
It is the best.
Oh, it's Linux patch. Where's zip? Anyone see zip?
I have it on my laptop, so.
Yeah, go by what the requirements say of what's on there.
That's easy enough.
Are we allowed to show the file?
Okay, so under here, I have a lot of zip files. Okay, if I open them up, I get nothing. It's all corrupt. Okay, y'all see that? Now let's go into documents. Let's open some of these. Okay. A lot of these are going to be corrupt, and I'm going to see if I can show you why. Did I get them all? Where is it at? Hold on.
So do we include the correct ones in the numbers, or do you want the legitimates only?
I want the numbers the tool gives you,
Okay.
unless I tell you differently. Where is, okay.
They do it
The issue here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Put the, on that, on the file, the config file
Yes.
for that, what's the third column for? Like,
I don't know.
100,000, okay.
I don't know.
Let's say if we're adding in stuff, we need to.
The problem with this, you know how Office documents all look at the beginning? The same signature?
Yeah.
So just because it's a document, it might not be a document. It might be a PowerPoint.
They have, inside it, near the end, they have a signature check that either says Microsoft Office.
But
says
this here, I'm seeing this tool though.
Yeah.
This tool will open them all the same. I'm trying to find one that does that.
Could you add an ender? Some of them have like the end where the file ends with Scout.
Not with Office, you can't. Wait a minute. Content XML. Which one is this?
Sorry, my program went to. There's better ones out there.
Oh, there is. There's a lot better ones out there.
But he told us to use this one. I used it. What's the best one?
The whole point is I just want you to use different tools.
Highlight all of them.
Come on, one of these. It's driving me crazy.
Shouldn't be using pirated software.
It's not pirated software. Question is the KMS running?
I don't know if KMS is running.
KMS is not running.
KMS is.
Some of these you can open up by changing the format. There you go. So that one showed it was a Word document, but it was actually a PowerPoint. Did you see that? Okay. Because this tool cannot tell the difference because the header's all the same. So there's 15 of them in here, but they're not all documents. Some are documents, some are Excel, some are PowerPoint. Again, it's a no-frills tool. It does a decent job, but it's not perfect. But yeah, I'll have to run your exact image and see why you're getting 2000s.
So I did it again just so you showed me it still came up with 2007.
So make that, you know what?
I have the whole
Hold on.
right now.
I can check right now. Don't look at the screen, because it's going to show you all the answers to the test.
Hey, Ken, you know the projector has this really fancy.
Call freeze?
Or that. Are you still recording with Camtasia now?
Well, shit. Alright, the reason, make sure we're recording. Are we recording? Yes, we're recording. Okay. The reason you're getting so many is because of false positives. And I don't know what file, I bet if you opened up your PowerPoints, I bet there's a whole bunch of pictures in there. That's what kills it. It sucks. So, alright. So, everybody okay on Foremost and Scalpel? They're real basic. There's really nothing to them. You edit that one file and you're done. Okay? Now, for the one that actually is fun. We have two other programs. We actually have a couple. We're going to do FTK first. This is FTK version 1.81.6. Now,
Which do you prefer, NCase or FTK?
yes. Now, let me tell you a little story about that. Let me minimize this. I went to actually official training put on by both of the companies. I went to the FTK training first. It was a week long. I actually went to two different classes. One was in Detroit. That was fun. And I forget the other ones. But here's what I was told. Our tool's great. We're the best. Blah, blah, blah. And it was good. but they were the best at everything. I mean, they would tell you on and on, we're the best at everything. So I go to end case training a year or two later. And the question was actually asked, are you better? He goes, we're not FTK, so how can I compare? We're not even the same tool, which is true. He's like, and they never compared themselves with anybody else. They said, you need to make your own decision. So they're both good. When it comes to breaking passwords, even Ncase will tell you FTK does a better job. But Ncase changes frequently. They add new capabilities, and it has a scripting language which allows you to do much more. FTK is not as much.
Ncase is also accepted most soundly in court, too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, heck, I've been to the Ncase conference 2 years in a row in Vegas.
They have
So
a certification, too.
yes, they do. They both do. I have a certification for
FTK
both.
does have a certification, too.
Yeah, it's a ACE, Access Data Certified Engineer or Examiner, and then Ncase Certified Engineer. I got both. I took tests in both.
Cool.
The Ncase test was very tough. FTK test, no, there was nothing.
When they're testing you with something like that, is it just how much of the program you actually have a working knowledge of, or is it a hard end?
Well, okay, when I took my FTK test, there was a few multiple choice and then real basic stuff, nothing special. Make a report that has a column of 6 graphics, and that's all it was. Ncase, on the other hand, I had like a 180 question test, very detailed. Now it's funny because I teach this stuff all the time, so I'm sitting there in a class. I mean, we had to know hex, we had to know binary. There's people in the class that never heard that in their life, and they're like, "What's this hex thing?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna have a hard time on this test, dude." So, but there was a big old test, and once you pass that, then they give you a case. When I did it, they mailed me the case. I had 2 months, and I mailed it back. Now it's done online, but you download a case, you create it. They don't tell you what's right and wrong, and then you send it back. They tell you pass or not. They give you 2 hints, and the test has changed since I took it. But there was one question. I used my 2 hints, but there was one question where I was like, the RMs. Keep saying, is there any RMs? Well, I don't know. Is there? I mean, did I tell you to look for them? I didn't tell you to look for them, so there's probably are none. But there was a question. They had this flash drive and this hard drive and all these little images, and they all linked together. I mean, like when you have an external drive, you link it to your computer and USB. It was all perfect, except for one aspect was wrong. So they had this question, blah, blah, blah. And I answered it with massive data. But at the very end, I says, this is like 99.9%, except for this one small thing that's telling me this is all bogus. So that's what I wrote. I said, here's all this result, but in the end, this thing is not right. And they won't tell you if I was right or wrong. Sucks. I'm like, sorry.
Well, you passed.
Well, I passed. What it is, do you know that anytime you put a USB drive in the computer, it registers? In the registry, it never goes away? That's the one thing that was missing.
Oh, wow.
Everything, all the file links, everything, the trash can, everything was perfect. Except for that one serial number was missing. I'm like, that's a biggie. I mean, that's a real big.
In the forensics class, do you go through and actually
we did
pull
all.
out the...
In the forensics class here.
Or you go because you mentioned USB, do you have them go through and actually find...
In the registry, no. I might want to do that. The reason is I'm limited on what we can do.
Okay.
We only have so much project time we can do.
You need another forensics class.
We actually have 5 more. If y'all didn't know this, by next fall there'll be 5 more forensics classes. There'll be a networking option, a cybersecurity, and then a forensics option. So that's what's changing. Okay, let's continue on with this real quick. I'm going to go through here. Now, with FTK, you can tell it to do all kinds of stuff. And the one we're going to focus on is this data carving. Data carving is what we're doing. We're taking the drive and we're carving out. We're taking pieces out. So I'm going to go here. And there's lots of other stuff involved. Again, I talked about that in forensics class. But the data carving is the one we want. Okay? Now, with data carving, I want you to go in here and select none. Then only select the stuff I told you is on the image. Okay? Whatever, because I tell you what's on the image. So only select the ones that are on the image, and then this is critical. I'm going to forget that this time. I'm going to show you what happens if you forget it. Okay?
No.
Then I'm going to say keep going, keep going. I'm going to add some evidence. It's an image of a drive. Yeah, let's wait for a while. Yeah. This took a while earlier. I'm like, what the heck is it doing? And it finally came up. Come on. You can do it. We're going to pause the recording until it comes up. We are back. That only took about, a while. So it's under C drive. And then it was at the root. Didn't I have it at the root? There it is. Okay. We have to give it a time zone. It's not important for this, but now, and we're going to say next. Now what it's going to do is it's actually going to process it. It's doing it right here. Okay. FTK does pre-processing. All that stuff I could have selected to do. And depending on the size of your image, that could take days to add it to your case. Literally, days. Encase does nothing up front. And there's a big deal about it. Here's what they tell you about it. FTK does all that stuff up front, so you can get, once it's in your case, you can use it. You can analyze it and look at it. But what happens if your court order says you're only looking for Word documents, and that just recovered in an Excel file? You just went outside the scope of your case. You could get in a lot of trouble. Whereas Encase does nothing up front. And then you go in and tell it, I want just this one thing. So it could cause, because just by that index, what FTK does is it indexes the entire image. It goes through the whole image, every word it finds, it makes an index of it. So it has this huge dictionary list of words that we can search it very easily later. But what if the words came from an area of the image you weren't supposed to touch? I didn't have the choice to say, hey, I got this entire hard drive, only do this one directory. So Encase does it different. Alright, so here's our stuff. You'll see I really don't have much in here. I have no documents, no spreadsheets, no graphics, no nothing. Did I fail? Damn it. Okay. Because, now if I forgot to check it, all I got to do is here, go to data carving. Do this again. It was GIF, JPEG, PNG, PDF, and OLE. OLE's Office, by the way. Now I'm going to say add to the case. Now, what you can do, you can actually go in here and set a minimum size. Maybe I don't want to get thumbnails or icons or whatever. So you can get that stuff out of your case. Now I'm going to say okay. So now it's actually going through and adding them to my case because I forgot that checkbox last time. Okay. Now you notice I have 19 documents, 4 spreadsheets, some graphics. So I'm going over to the graphics tab. Oops, there's nothing. Because in FTK you need to click over here and say list all descendants. Now you'll see it shows all of my graphics. Pretty nice little tool. Now if I go back to overview, I can go to documents. Now here, this is a document, okay? I have a JPEG.jpeg.htm. This is the EXIF data someone mentioned a little bit last time. Okay? So it's not really a document. It's really the EXIF data from the image itself. Okay? If you get into we'll do a Lab 11, I think, is all about images. We can do that early in this lecture if you want. Not tonight, but here's where we can see all that information. But if I cruise on down, now I can start getting to my OLE documents. Those are our Words and our Excels and our PowerPoint. They tell you over here what the other Microsoft Word. There's Adobe Acrobat. Some of them are going to be corrupt. Some of them are going to be good. So it's really a nice tool. Pretty quick and easy. This is version 1.81.6. They're up to version 5. We're going to, or maybe 4. Are they on 4 or 5 for FTK? That's, okay. Okay, so this one's good because as a free demo, it'll do 500 or 5,000 files. 5,000? Okay. If you want to use it at home and you're in my forensics class, if you go under Tools, Preferences, under Network Security Dongle, if you put in that information from inside the lab, you automatically get a license and it's a real software because we own it. For outside, you got to put in cm.cyber.rose.edu. There's a video inside of the content of the page of what to put in there. It's cm.cyber.rose.edu. That's what you put in but this is the internal number. That'll give you your license. So documents are pretty simple. Spreadsheets, there's my spreadsheet. So a little bit better job than Foremost and Scalpel. Do y'all agree?
Yes.
Massively better.
I
Okay.
really use these programs like out in the field.
Oh yeah, definitely. They definitely use it. FTK and Ncase are used a lot. Ncase is used the most. Foremost and Scalpel, not that much. But they're still there. Okay, graphics, again, we saw the graphics. And if you listen to the recording of Ncase, I talk about the magic it does.
Yeah.
Isn't that?
You call it like Magic 7.3.
Yeah. When I format a drive, we talked about this a little bit last time. Remember, when we delete a file, it just wipes out the first characters, replace it with hex E5, which is sigma. But what happens when I format? What does it do?
It's drive structure.
Deletes the entire fat table, so there's no more drive structure. The file allocation table is gone. How does Ncase get it back? I have no idea. This guy didn't do it. It's magic. That's why I call it Magic 703, whatever, because it's like, how did it even do that? Because it didn't do it here. All we have is a root folder. That way, first time I did it, I'm like, I must not have deleted the fat table. And I repeated it multiple times, and it does. Okay.
They took Ncase and they sprinkled it.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can also go to Explore, and under Explore you can find all the files that are in the root directory, so on and so forth. Okay? So, not a bad tool. There is no email, so it shouldn't have found any. So on and forth. Okay, everybody okay with FTK? Again, while you're students of mine, you're free to use these. These are educational licenses. They should not be used for commercial use. But if you want to play with them, that's totally fine. I got an email. I told one of my other classes, but maybe that's right. I told you guys the first night. I got an email from Carrie about how she was using all these techniques to actually break a password she needed for her business where she works, and it worked. So pretty interesting stuff. Okay, now Ncase. Ncase is the next one. This is the latest version as of about 2 weeks ago. I haven't looked since then. It might have changed since then. And again, we have support on all these softwares. So if you're having an issue and you can't get it to work and I can't get it to work with you, let me know. We can call support. I call them at least once a semester. I call them this semester. It turns out RDP is now the port they're using for the dongle check. It's like, why?
Right.
But they're coming out with a new dongle, which if we continue to have issues, will send us the new dongle. But it's weird.
Did Ncase ever get back to you about it being magic? Because you asked, I know.
No, they never responded. They have the guy.
They're going to respond.
When I was at the conference, there was a guy who was doing one of the lectures. Been with him forever. He does a lot of mobile stuff. He does a lot of mobile stuff with Ncase. Someone asked him, "How many apps do you have on the App Store?" He's like, "Thousands." He goes, "I lost count hundreds and hundreds ago." So I'm like, dude, he's got to be making tons of money. It's got to be. Even if they're free with a couple ads, you're making millions of dollars. But yeah, I mean, they have some really, really smart people there. And they have a lot of stupid people. But everybody has stupid people. So. All right, we're going to say new case here. All right. I'm going to call this one. This is going to be Case Ken. Yeah. Thought of that name just now. All right. Yeah, whatever. It's telling me, are you sure you want to store the case on your C drive? Yes, that's the only drive I have. Get over it. Okay. Now, adding evidence. We have a couple different ways. Normally, you would add a local device. I would add my C drive or my whatever, my smartphone or whatever I have. Okay. In prior versions of Ncase, you could actually acquire cell phones without a dongle. A dongle is a security device. It's like a USB drive with a key on it. Okay. In prior versions, you could take Ncase out to the field, acquire evidence without having a dongle, then bring the evidence back and analyze it. But since they incorporated the new smartphone feature, you need a dongle even to acquire. So now, if you bring this up and up at the top and it says Ncase acquisition, it's not going to work. So I have so many students who are like, I can't get it to do anything. I said, what's it say in the title bar? Acquisition. Well, you can't do anything. That's just to acquire an image. You need the dongle to get the actual image. And the way you get it here, you just go under NAS and you put in the address. Again, it's cm.cyber.rose.edu externally. And you need to point to some keys, which for your in forensics class, I give them to you. I'm assuming you in forensics all found them? Okay. Okay, they're pretty easy to put in there. Okay. All right. So now to add our image is actually a raw image. Okay. So normal image, I don't think we can do it in. Let's try it. I don't think we can. But again, this software changes all the time. I'm going to go over here to this root directory. Oh, I hate that snap crap.
You hush your mouth.
Okay, an error called. You can't do that. You cannot just drop a raw image on here. But you could if it was like a smartphone image or something. But if I click add raw image, then I can go over here and I can somehow, oh shit, this is going to be too small.
What?
I think that's going to be new. Technically, I'm on my own time right now, so I can say whatever I want.
You can censor it out of the recording.
Yes, I do that a lot. Okay, I'm going to find it, then I'm going to hopefully say, I'm going to have to change my screen resolution real fast. Remember, I got to go back down to 800 by 600. Okay, I needed that OK button at the bottom, which, can you guys still see that OK? Or do I need to lower it again? I'll lower it again. Actually, I better not, just in case I need another button. In case does not scale correctly. Roy, no. Okay, so now we have my image here. Now, if I click on this image, I can actually, I screwed this up every time I do this. I'm looking for process, aren't I? Where's process? Process evidence. Come on. There it is. All right, what I want is I'm going to uncheck all this stuff. I'm going to tell it to recover folders. And what's the other one I want? Is it in modules? File Carver, right here in modules. So I'm going to click that. Now, hey, shh. Now, inside here, again, for those of you who are just now joining the conversation, I unchecked everything but recover folders, and under modules we have File Carver. This can do lots of other stuff for. There's a whole bunch of features built into this. So under File Carver, you click on it, and they keep changing where this stuff is at. Like I can go in here and I can say I want, let's see, what we want Adobe. Don't want that. What else do we want? We want Word, Excel. That's enough for that. We're just getting a couple of them.
Now on the words, you want like Microsoft Word File, Microsoft Word 6.0. There's like so many different options over there.
Yes.
Yes.
I would say get all of them. Okay, we want GIF, we want JPEG.
Your answers are flawless as usual.
I like this. Thank you, I appreciate that. So we got JPEG, we got GIF, what else do we want?
Just for the record, everybody on the recording, I was being facetious.
Alright, and then we're going to go next. Now, I don't want to export them, but we could. Now we need the button at the bottom. Well, hell. There we go, we got it. All right. Yes. Okay, it's going. You'll see down here in the corner, it's running. Encase processor. Well, it's going to be running soon.
That always takes a while.
It's processing.
Where's the famous elevator music, kid?
This one takes longer than FTK because it didn't do anything up front. Remember, this is doing all the processing now, where FTK did all his later. Or FTK did it first. Okay, it's done. All right, now we should. Okay. Now where's the? We want. Okay, I always mess up where to go. Where's the key? It's. Oh, there it is.
It's in a different place than it was.
Yes. Well, no. Wait a minute. No, that's not it. Hold on.
Raw search.
Gotta go back. Evidence. Oh, where's the damn...
You have to click the little triangle.
Is that under the funnel? That's,
Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. We have them. Now, these you'll actually see are different folders. Now we have our PDFs. Now, for some reason, this one, it didn't actually get the folder names, did it? No, it didn't. Let me try to make this a little bigger here so we can see some. Actually, but no, see, it actually got the names, which is crazy. So if we deleted the FAT table, how did it possibly get the name of the file? If I go over to the doc viewer, and doc viewer is a built-in viewer, doesn't mean document. It doesn't mean that. Okay, now if I click this, I can see the different ones. There's Jackie Chan PDF. There's Mountain Dew. There's another one. Keep calm and drink dew or something, I'm assuming. You can tell Roy likes Mountain Dew. Roy has actually made numerous ideas for me for images. And I can also go over to the gallery, and I can see all of them. So, to answer the question you asked earlier, I probably would like Ncase best, because it seems to have the most functionality. And any tool, exactly, any tool that can recover a file name, the entire file name, we're talking even the first character, is crazy. I don't know how it does it. It's okay. Yes,
Are
sir.
there any free open source tools that are comparable?
Yes. What's the one for Rakuva?
It's not nearly as powerful as Ncase.
Right,
Not
right,
nearly.
But there's some out there. They're just not great.
Also, Rakuva I don't believe is open source by any means. It's just freeware.
Oh. Now, Foremost and Scalpel are free. You can use those all day long. Ncase obviously is not. It's about $3,000 a copy. So FTK is about the same.
Pish, pocket change.
Yeah. Again, we have an educational license, so I spend $3,000 and get 40 copies. But again, it's educational. Hence the forensics training at the top, not forensics. They keep changing the stupid name on it. Sometimes it's forensics examiner, sometimes it's this. It's great. But so it's not hard to do. They're both kind of cool. Yeah, I still don't know how they got all this stuff. It's crazy. But you got to check the stupid little plates, or you don't get all the stuff. Okay. You want to see it? The little home plates, these little green home plates. Say if you want to see it from the top, that'll give you everything below. If you only want to see a folder, you can click straight on the folder. See, there's our Excel. And again, doc is not Word doc, because if it was Word doc, we wouldn't be showing this. Other things in here, you can actually see report view. You can see when the file was accessed and all this other stuff. Okay.
That's what was most helpful when I was doing this 3.10.
Right. It gives you all kinds of information right here.
Doc doesn't open your mouth.
If you go text, it'll show you the text that's in the file, kind of like the right-hand column when we use the hex editor. Now, transcript view is kind of cool. It removes out everything except the halfway usable text. So you see, very easily we know Roy Baggett made this. I have no idea who the Samantha Farrell is, but so this just removes all the rest of the junk. It just returns stuff that you might want to use. Okay. Oh, Cant Do made that one. That one must be a good one. Which one's that one? That just means Cant Do copied it from somewhere. Okay. I probably edited it. You can view hex as well. And you can use this just like the hex editor. You can go in here and then copy it out of here. And paste it. And not a problem. So you can use this as well. Because the cool thing, when I went through FTK training, we used the tool, which is good. When I went through Ncase training, we had to do everything by hand first. We had to use hex. We had to get it out via hex. Then we could use the tool, kind of like I'm making you all do it.
Yeah.
Because by doing it by hand, you actually learn how it works. And now when you use these tools, again, you don't want to go to court and say, so how do you do that? Like, hit go. That's probably not the correct answer. So I could very easily say, I was after this Word document, it actually went in, it looked for the hexadecimal values of D0CF, then I went to the end of the sector, and then we copied it, and that's how we recovered it. It's a lot better than saying go. Or foremost, I hit enter and it just magic appeared or something. So, but I still don't know how they got the file names. I still don't know. But no, they haven't told me. The problem is the people that actually make this stuff work, you don't ever get to meet them. The people who are at conferences, for the most part, are the people who teach it, people who sell it. It's not the guy in the back room, eating Doritos that writes it. Yes.
Scroll
Yes.
down towards the bottom, probably,
Where it says the Word document summary and all that.
because one of them actually has it's the same no matter what, and I'm trying to remember, I think it's not that one, it's Microsoft, and it does it Word, kind of like it does documentary summary information.
So there's Word document.
For Word, it does that. For PowerPoint, it does Microsoft PowerPoint. And then,
Excel, it does Microsoft Excel, doesn't it?
and then I think it does Excel the same way. Or it says spreadsheet on some of them. But if you put
Find
in-
Excel.
Find something you can modify scripting using if to check it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to do it for here, but for some of the others.
A lot of blank space on. Holy moly, lots of blank space. There it was.
Scripted names it accordingly. I can see it.
Root entry, workbook,
See, Word was much-
summary information. I'm trying to find where it's.
Workbook would give away
Yeah.
the next one.
Yeah, but this should still say Microsoft Excel somewhere near the end here.
I thought all that said in it was
Oh.
Office document or something.
I don't know. Yeah, obviously, we know
There
that's
you go, there's another giveaway.
sheet. Oh, there was a cool name right there. Look at Ken Dewey. Microsoft Excel right there. All right, so very simple tools. They're easy to use. Again, if you ever want to play with them, and even if you're not in forensics, I can give you a virtual machine to play with. That's not a problem.
Sometimes with some of your assignments, the hardest part is actually shifting through.
I do love password cracking. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, the reason, what I've been doing in the last couple semesters is I'm kind of telling you more of exactly what I'm looking for, which I'm hearing from a lot of students. They like that because now you know exactly what I'm looking for rather than tell me all you can.
Got the document you said was there.
So, what now?
I said I still never got the document folder you swore was there.
What document folder?
Oh,
last
you remember
week.
the secret document? The one where you put in.
What secret document?
It's a secret. We can't talk about it on a recording.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about, though.
You remember you made a mistake.
We're
with
gonna pause
the
for a second.
Word document.
Okay, what?
Have you ever taught anyone how to get that extract the password hash? I don't think we ever learned how to do that.
Extract the password hash out of where?
Like use something like for John the Ripper. How you
That's a good idea, how to get it. Maybe I'll make a quick recording for that. Because it's not hard to do.
but it's just, I
It
never.
depends
Yeah.
on what system you're ripping.
Yeah, it really, you see, it depends. It might have a shadow file, it might not. Windows, I mean, it's not that hard to get. Just,
You just copy over the SAM file.
yeah, that SAM file has it in it.
I was gonna
Maybe-
say split the same windows and you have it done.
Right. Yeah, because you can actually just, with like, especially with PRTK, which we're going to use later in the class, you just drop the SAM file or drop whatever, and then it just does it.
Yeah, just
What am
make
I-
sure you don't select the entire.
Yes. So what am I lecturing on next week? Anybody have any ideas?
What's our
Stay good for
DNS
next.
day?
You want me to do? Do you like doing this forensics stuff again, or I can do other stuff? It doesn't have to all be forensics class. How's everybody doing in cryptography so far? Is anybody in cryptography?
Yeah.
Two of you.
Cryptography.
So far, so good.
Oh, you just
I didn't
wait
put the
till
recorder.
the
Did I
end.
put the recordings up this week?
That's what I keep hearing.
I haven't been on at all.
Oh, from the email. Okay, I'll tell you what. Next week I'll go over the email lab,
Pornography.
the header analysis, and then I will do the steganography. Sound good? So those are your friends. I'll go over the results of that because the projects are changing for next semester anyway. But so next week I'll go over the header real quick. And the deal about the email header analysis, I had 2 different students contact me and said, that lab was boring as heck. But they actually used it in real life. It's like how to use Aaron to get data, how to read an email header to find out where it came from. I had the guy from OSU, I might have said y'all in the recording, but he called me. He's like, I just finished that project. I think it was like 2 projects later. But then he went to interview a job. The only thing they asked him for was, do you know how to read an email header? And he remembered from the project, and he got the job because of it. So the deal is, no one knows how to do it nowadays. So when you try to get into certain positions, when you actually know how to read a DNS record and how to query who is and all that, it's kind of important. So.
And it can get confusing. There's a website out there that does it all for you.
Oh, there's lots of them out there. DNS Tools does a lot of it for you.
Yeah, so
Sam Spade does it all for you. There's a lot of them that do it all for you.
I was gonna say I found this one that was like network-tools.
Yeah.
.net or something.
Yeah. Network Tools is great. There's everything in there. Tell you, when I ran my ISP for years, I tell you what, reading that stuff and configuring DNS and tracking stuff, that is a really big issue. So it's important you know how to read all that stuff. But I'll cover that next week. We'll go over the email lab,
That's 9P.
and then we will do steganography. Sound like a plan?
It's worth
All right.
mentioning in all of this. that
All right. Do you have a question?
don't go through your emails and
Yeah.
stuff.
What? What?
How can you do that, the recovery stuff, I guess, whatever you're doing up there, with a full disk encryption?
You're not. The disk is encrypted and needs to be decrypted first. Now, that being said, PRTK will break encryption, but it could take months sometimes. In case, if it's an encrypted drive, there are certain modules you can buy. Like when I was at the conference in May, they do have password breaking tools for NCase that incorporate right into it. So when it like say you add an encrypted drive to it, you right click on it and say decrypt, and it brings up the other tools and breaks the encryption. But again, they're expensive. They're add-on modules for it. So yeah, it's
There's only
You
so
know, I do the
much.
hack away.
yeah, or you can just try it. But I mean, if you have really good, it's like PGP, EFS, any of those, BitLocker, you got a lot, or TrueCrypt even.
Sophos.
Right,
What?
Sophos is the most evil program I've ever heard.
Yeah, there's
We use it for DoD,
right.
and even when you're trying to recover someone's data that you legitimately need into the drive,
Do you get it?
you have to use this web console and tell it that you're the owner of it and change all this stuff. And
See-
yeah, it's
See, what I don't like is like in Windows, for instance. Say this is my computer right here. If I encrypt my drive, there's always a recovery user on the domain that can go in and decrypt it. Which kind of sucks. If it's my stuff, I don't want you to get into it. But considering it is a road state computer, I can see why they would do that. But if it was my personal stuff, I wouldn't want you to be able to recover it. That's when you need to make a TrueCrypt volume or something like that, which is a tool you can just encrypt it. So
Well, let's face it.
Kind of cool.
Drive encryption is always a double-edged sword.
yeah,
it's a dangerous.
and if
thing
you,
if you're
I mean,
playing.
has anyone ever forgot a password before?
Haha.
I use LastPass. LastPass is amazing. There's a major drawback to it. I don't enter my passwords anymore. When I need to enter them, I'm like, oh, crap, I don't know what the password is anymore because I don't enter it anymore.
Tell you that there's a few major drawbacks, and
Yeah.
probably the biggest one that you run into all the time is not logging out of it.
Yes. Well, I do now.
Well, yeah, you do now, but I mean, how did you? What? Okay,
Right.
Ken, what made you start doing
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, because if you don't log out and then you get some idiot that's screwing around your machine when they shouldn't be,
True. Yes.
But,
It was a combination
Right.
of TeamViewer
so,
not
Yeah.
logging him out automatically when he left,
right, and
and
it
his
should
LastPass
have.
being logged in.
Oh,
That, sir, is console.
But,
you had the keys
See,
to the
see,
kingdom.
here's
He
the
gave
deal.
it to you.
If you had integrity, you would have said, wow, he left his machine on. I think I should lock it for him rather than screw it up and get it in remotely to my home cameras and look at me on sitting there watching TV show on the couch. Yeah.
You could have stopped
All right,
it
that's
before
enough
you
for the
came.
recording.